Hello everyone, this is OW Gaming and welcome to the brand new installment of Future Langrisser. This is March 18th, 2024 edition. And yep, we're at the time of the next major update for CN. And this is actually going to be somewhat exciting to some of you because two new heroes are on their way. And they'll be in the game very soon in CN, but as of now, they're not in the game yet. By the time of recording, today is the 12th of March. And once again, I decided to record this video in advance so that way I can get this video out on time, right on schedule. So anyways, let's get right into what these characters are, and let me tell you, these two are pretty interesting. What I mean interesting is that they could actually be a meta shifter, but here's the thing, there are some gimmicks in there that might work, but it might not work at the same time. So anyways, let me explain what they are. So anyways, first off, we have Celica. I'm not talking about the ones from Fire Emblem or whatever. Like, this is the Langrisser's Celica, which honestly is pretty hilarious that some characters have the similar names to another character from another series. But anyways, let's talk about how Celica works in Langrisser. So anyway, she has Mage and Holy class, and her role is a cooldown manipulation healer. So basically, she messes around with the cooldowns as well. At the same time, she's a healer, which makes her pretty interesting. And I think she can also be used offensively. But other than that, she's an excellent healer, and of course a unique one too. Because I don't think we have any other. No. I lied. I thought there weren't any like cooldown manipulation healers, but no, we have Sophia before. So yeah, she's the other unit that has that similar capability. So that's actually quite nice to see. But anyways, when by the time when she arrives to the global version of Langrisser, we'll dive deeper for these two new characters. And for Selka's factions, she's part of Legion of Glory, Princess Alliance, and Ules Legends. Next up, we got Ymir, or I think it's called Ymir. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I mean, nowadays Langrisser's characters' names are a bit weird to spell or pronounce. But anyways, he's gonna be the Demon Holy class. So yep, you can already tell that the only class you want to go for is Holy, which makes sense. And his role is like any other typical physical attackers. He's mainly a DPS unit, and also don't ever think of him like a typical physical DPS because he has some skills that are pretty nasty. Like he has a shield bash that can stun your opponent, and also some other things that he has, like especially his 3C. Oh man, you do not want to mess with him, even though he is somewhat of a I don't know, somewhat strange when it comes to faction choices like Legion of Glory, Dark Reincarnation, and Ules Legends. And he by far is the second unit to be with the Glory and Dark. Like the only one that has this for a long time is gonna be was belongs to Betty. Like Betty has Glory and Dark simultaneously, and Ymir happens to be the second one out of the entire Langrisser cycle. Which it is interesting though, because we haven't had a unit that has those two combos for a long time, and finally got a new character that utilized those two factions. And moving on, let's talk about some things here about the casting patterns. There are four new ones. There's one goes to Clotaire, there's one goes to Leon, there's one goes to Varna, and one goes to Wandering Duelist. So first off, we got Clotaire. Clotaire is a pretty straightforward. It's like attack and in plus 5%, and when he dies, deals fixed damage equal to 0.7 times attack plus int to all enemies with Shatter Flame debuff, and restores its duration back to 2 turns. And it is basically a full duration refresh. So like if your opponent was about to take the Shatter Flame off of themselves, well, when Clotaire dies, it does fixed damage, and not just that, it basically resets the duration, which is pretty devastating if you think about it. Like basically they'll have to suffer for 2 turns again. Like if they get debuffed like this. So yeah, casting is pretty solid, but this only works when he dies. So just so you know. But if he's still alive, he can still do some damage. So yeah. So if you're fighting against Clotaire, you gotta think twice. Whether if you want to kill him immediately or if you want to kill him later. But I mean, it's probably well advised to kill him as soon as possible because for one, you do not want him to cause so much trouble for you, like giving value to your enemy. So yeah, if you ever have to fight Clotaire, think strategically. Like I really mean it because Clotaire is pretty dangerous with this casting. Moving on, we have Leon. Leon's casting is a bit interesting because I don't think we have any character that can utilize the same buff effect apart from faction buff. So, anyways, the chivalry duration lasts 2 more turns on Leon, which is pretty interesting. When using chivalry skill, grants all cavalry allies attack plus 20% and immune to all debuffs. Has a blast and reinforcement effect for 2 turns. So essentially, when Leon activates chivalry for himself, every cavalry unit gets it as well. So that's basically making Leon extremely powerful. He is the king or maybe the leader of the cavalry units. So if you have any other character that uses cavalry class, well, you'll be happy to bring him along because he will boost every cavalry units for you. So that means you'll have a lot of horses on in your army, and they'll charge in with Leon at the same time. So, yep, if you have Leon's casting, then great because he's gonna do a lot of value for you, like a lot of work and value. Next up, we got Varna. This is pretty short and sweet. All it does is just attack plus 10%, and her talent span range will be increased by 1 more tile. So yeah, straightforward. Varna is an excellent unit for beginners at least, but if you're like a long time player or end game at some point, I don't really think this gives you any value if you don't use Varna that much. But if you've been using Varna a lot, then you can just cast her. But at the same time, it might not be worth it because Varna usually doesn't give you much value for the end game players. So if I were you, I'll probably just skip that one. But if you really like Varna, just to just cast her anyway because you liked her, or maybe she could be your waifu or whatever. Or speaking of which, Varna could be like a waifu war material actually. Kind of think of it. And finally, have Wandering Duelist. This is the other version of Brenda. In case you guys didn't know, attack plus 5%. When using Relentless Hunt skill on enemies afflicted with Chain of Vengeance, skill cooldown -2. If the enemy with Chain of Vengeance is killed this way, skill cooldown is reduced by another turn. Basically, if both conditions are met, her 3C can be used again after 1 turn cooldown. So essentially, like Wandering Duelist works really well with her chains. So if you kill enemy with this, you'll get 3 turn cooldown. But if you just attack them while they're chained, you get cooldown -2 for sure. So yeah, this is actually a good improvement for Wandering Duelist because like in the past, when she was released, she's not the greatest for PvP because for one, in order for her chains to work, she has to get an ally get ally killed. So that way she will apply the Chain of Vengeance to them. Or she can apply them just by using her skill. But other than that, this is a nice boost. And I don't really see this usable in PvP, but I might be wrong. But this is pretty strong either way. But we'll see how people use Duelist. But I don't know if they're going to bring her in. Anyways, we'll see when time comes. Moving on, let's talk about the exclusive. And once again, like the other update, we once again only got one exclusive. This time around, this belongs to Apotheosis, which is the third limited unit that is in the game for like once after 6 months. So, anyways, Apotheosis is his is a headwear, HP plus 10%, immune to all debuffs when positioned within 3 blocks of holy or demon enemies, with 3 or more talent stacks, ones that add some some of his attack to other stats apart from HP. Those ones, of course. His unique debuffs become undispellable. So yeah, Apotheosis will be even broken with this. So yeah, if you've been using Apotheosis in PvP lately, yeah, keep using him. He is pretty good in this kind of exclusive. So yeah, you can imagine this is pretty broken. Like as long as he has 3 of the conversion, like converting some of his attack to his other stats. Yeah, at least 3 of them at least. Yeah, you can already rock with this. Like, there's no way they can dispel all that. But of course, they can get prevented by Rose Seal or anybody with Gospel or anything that's immune to all debuffs. So yeah, Apotheosis headwear is actually pretty strong. So it is recommended if you consider getting it. And finally, before we close off this episode, there's some stuff we need to talk about. Especially there's some stuff that are pretty big. And I'm not gonna lie, let's get right into it. So, additional information we have here is that there's some banners like Polio and Lemire, the new radar banner. Those two will be returning in this update. New Destiny banner for Emperor Lovina, Grencio, and Lugner. We also got a new Dark Destiny banner for Epsilon, Listel, and Leo Beck. And then we have the classic Destiny banner for Landius, Yulia, and Jugler. And of course, there's a special radar banner, which is the pretty much called Oathsworn, but it might be named differently. But anyways, this banner is pretty special because we don't have any banner that does this apart from the Divine Oathsworn summons. Yeah, this one includes only 16 heroes that have already existed in the past. So this includes the 8 starter units like Leon, Lana, Bozel, Ledin, Elwyn, Liana, Luna, and Tiaris. This time around, there's actually like 16 of them, and the other 8 are the new ones that are possibly going to be added as a new beginner-friendly type of thing, possibly. But we'll see how Zilong will take from here. So, anyways, the other 8 will be Rosenseal, Helena, Light of Genesis, Rosalia. I think that's Rosalia. Yeah, I don't know. Some named similarly kind of got me confused sometimes. Like there's a character from Genshin named Rosaria. Yeah, and you can imagine that this is gonna be giving me a hard time because there are actually a lot of characters named similarly, especially in game in Langrisser like Kaguya, Kaira, and Kagura. Yeah, all 3 of them have the similar names. Oh my goodness. Anyways, moving on, we have Lucretia, the original Lucretia, of course. We also have Florentia, Hilda, and Christiane. So if you're missing any of these characters for whatever reason, unless you're just starting out, this banner is excellent for you to pick up because you do have a lot of options in this kind of banner. So anyways, hope you'll find this video informative, and I'll see you all next time.